Sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this Saturday morning for another edition of Saturday Sports Freestyling. We're going to be talking about some NCAA basketball, Super Bowl 60, and the Winter Olympics that's going to be taking place here in today. I can believe it starts up. So, welcome to the show. I got my man One Take Zaya with me today. How you feeling, One Take?
I'm good. What's up with you, family? How you doing?
I'm real good, man. Good to see you in the building this morning with us. We're going to be talking about some college basketball, and I know you watch college basketball pretty closely. What has really stood out to you so far this season when it comes to all of these teams who look like they're pretty good in the top 15 that could possibly make a run for the title?
Man, you can't even label it down to the top 15 when you consider March Madness and all the crazy things you see. It's a lot of high quality talent out there in the college basketball world this year. Um, and really, we've been getting matchups, week in and week out that we all look forward to, and we got a whole bunch more this weekend.
Talking to Melissa Graham, she said she don't talk about her Duke basketball on the day of the game because she's superstitious.
I get
That's
her.
why. Yeah, that's why. That's why. Yeah, the basketball that I have seen so far, and you're absolutely correct. It's beyond, whoever they think is the top 15 teams in the country. Because when it comes to March Madness, we all know that some of those lower seeds always make it into the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four, a couple of times even in the national championship game, who were ranked outside of the top 15. We're seeing some really, really good freshman ball players out there, man. Them guys can really, really go, um, which makes it even more interesting because you're thinking, man, wait till they get to the next level and what they're going to be able to do once they take their game up there to the highest level, which is the NBA. I'm anxious to see how this March Madness is going to go and really watching the rest of this season because now we're at a crucial time during college basketball where teams are trying to vie for positions. Teams are trying to get off the bubble and get in the round of 68. Teams that are on the bubble who are in right now or are fighting for their lives to stay in. So it's very, very interesting at this time of the year. But let's get into some of the action that's going to take place today. We got Duke versus North Carolina. Is this the best rivalry in college basketball? Can UNC beat the favorite Duke in Dean Smith Arena tonight?
Man, this is unequivocally, it's not even close in my opinion of the best rivalry in college basketball. I don't care who you like in college basketball. When these two teams line it up, you will tune into these rivalry games. Um, Now, I do think UNC can beat this Duke team. I like that front court that UNC has. They got Vassar, who's a 7 foot giant in the middle right there, and then Caleb Wilson, who is for sure, in my opinion, going to be a top five, if not top seven pick in the NBA draft coming up. Um, you know, Caleb Wilson, I'm hearing, he got a bone to pick today because Duke stopped recruiting him. And he probably want to come at Boozer because they play the same position. So we're gonna see two tremendous players going at it tonight. I think UNC though, they do rely on their front court a little heavy. Um, and Boozer might be the best front court player in the country. So it's going to come down to which one of these front courts for me can win this battle tonight. And I definitely think that UNC has two guys in Vassar and Wilson to hold their own tonight.
Yeah, for me, there's been times during this season where Duke has had some laws in their game. They haven't played well in stretches during games, and they allow teams to hang around. where they weren't knocking down shots. They weren't really playing really efficient basketball, turnover sometimes. I think if North Carolina can take advantage of that opportunity, if it ever presents itself, it may not present itself in this game, but the fact that they're in North Carolina, which is both teams are there, but it's in the Dean Dome, and North Carolina has the talent to be able to win this game. I think if they can take advantage of any opportunity that Duke has where they're not playing good basketball during stretches, if they can take advantage of that, they could definitely win this game. If they can get Boozer in some kind of foul trouble when he got to guard the players on that front line, maybe that might help as well. But I really think this is going to be a really good basketball game, and it's going to come down to the wire. And the team probably with the last couple of successful possessions down the stretch in the last minute and a half will win this game, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on number 5 Illinois traveling to Michigan State? Can Illinois get another big road win over a top 10 team? What must they do to make that happen?
Man, listen, we don't. I don't know what the verdict is on Jeremy Fears right now. I don't know if Izzo's going to be suspending him or if he's going to not playing for a certain amount of minutes to open up the game. I think that's real big key. Michigan State is a real scrappy team, though. And always, anytime you're talking about an Izzo team, you're dealing with a scrappy team. Um, and I wonder if they're going to be too physical for Illinois. But the thing is with Illinois is I don't think they're as physical as the Michigan State team, but they're long. They got a lot of length out there. So I think it's like they say, styles make fights, and it's two different contrasting styles. I think the best player on the court will be Wagler from Illinois, the point guard. Um, so we'll see how this game goes. I got an early favorite in Illinois. I just think that they play really well on the road, as you said when you opened up on the question. You know, they've been playing big games for the last few weekends, and they've been going on the road to do these games, and they've been coming out victorious. You know, Michigan State is on a slide right now too, so you know they're on a 2 game losing streak. Um, they probably will want to get out of the funk today, but I just think that Illinois is just playing too good right now.
Yeah, I think Illinois is really clicking on maybe not all cylinders because you did mention the fact that their physicality sometimes is not there. They are a very long team though. They got some size and some length to them, but they can get out physical easily because they're just not a physical bunch of guys. And they might Michigan State might be able to take advantage of the opportunities where Illinois might have some guys on there whose feet are not as quick as theirs are. So they might be able to do that. But without the guy who's having some kind of difficulties with Coach Izzo and that whole situation, that might be the difference for Illinois being able to win this game on the road. Hopefully, Wagler can do the things he's been doing over the last couple of games and really get the team in really good position offensively to knock down shots and play at a real efficient and high level on the offensive end of the floor. But they really got to guard the rebound boards too, man. They got to make sure they rebound defensively really well in this game. They can't afford to give Michigan State second chance shots in this one. But I think Illinois will get the win on the road, mainly because Michigan State has been on a little slide here lately. What's your thoughts on number 8, Houston, traveling to BYU to play number 16 BYU? AJ at home against a very good Houston team. How do you see this game going?
Surprisingly, man, I haven't really seen this Houston team yet. So this is a game I'll definitely be watching. Now we inching closer and closer to this March Madness. I gotta get my eyes on as many different teams in the country. Um, So I'm going in a little blind with this one. AJ just came off a monster game, 30 plus, I believe. So I really don't know because just because I haven't laid eyes on Houston yet, but we'll see how this game goes, man. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Like I said, because I definitely need to tap in with Houston. I ain't got nothing for you on this one though. I really don't. I'll be picking blind, you know.
Yeah, I think that this Houston team, they're very, very scrappy. They're going to pressure and they're going to guard you 94 feet and they're going to try to get you to turn the ball over. If AJ can't get any help out of the rest of his supporting cast and Houston is able to take him out of the game or force him to be the one who wins it for them, then I think Houston has a really good chance of winning this game on the road. AJ's going to need a lot of help from his supporting cast. They can't sit around and watch him play. They're going to have to make some things happen themselves. And when they do that, they really can open up things for him to get those 30-point games that we've grown accustomed to him getting, at least in the high 20s. So if Houston can take him out of the game like you've seen a couple of teams in the Big 12 do, where they force the other guys to have to beat them, and those guys weren't able to do it. If Houston is able to do that with their scrappy style of defense and their up tempo style of play, they might be able to go into BYU and win this game. This is going to be a good contest for AJ to be able to, because the games that they have lost is because teams were able to take him out of the game because of his supporting cast just wasn't there to help him. So if they can do that, Houston can win it. But we have to wait and see because maybe AJ's up for this task today. Because by now he has to figure out that he the man and that's what they're going to game plan against because it's been successful for the two or three teams that beat them so far this year.
And Kelvin Sampson is Houston coach, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So, I just seen him in an interview speaking about his programs NIL and how they're very poor. Thought we this would be a good time to mention that just because we're on the topic of Houston. But he said he don't know how he's going to put teams together after this year. You number 8 in the country. You one of the top teams. People definitely feel like you're one of the teams that can make a run. He just doesn't see how they're going to be able to piece together a solid enough roster because he understands that it's a bidding war out here.
Yeah, and he's had some really good successful teams over the maybe last 4 or 5 years in a row. Where now that this NIL is really going to have effect on him, and if they don't have money, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Hopefully, he can get some guys from some lower ranks with a lot of experience that won't require a whole lot of NIL money that he could put out there and put out a really really veteran team has played a lot of college basketball from coming from the lower level though. Because I mean, if I was one of those players, I would love to go play for Kelvin Sampson.
Great coach.
Great coach, for sure. So we got Super Bowl 60 tomorrow, the Patriots and the Seahawks. What are your keys to victory for both teams? And will it be a close game?
I'm sad to say, man, I do not think this is going to be a close game. I'm just thinking about this Seahawks defense and what they did to the 49ers. You know, man, they handled the 49ers. I also don't think the Patriots is going to be able to stop their run game. So, um, I like if the Seahawks get into this game and the Patriots can't stop their run game, there's no way in hell they're going to be able to do anything with Jackson Smith and Jigba once that run game is established. Man, it's just too much to worry about. So um, I see this a 2 touchdown plus game. I really do not. I'm hoping that it's a good game, just because I know if I got to sit through halftime. Um, and then watch the second half, I'm going to be disappointed because don't nobody want to see no Bad Bunny. Whoever made the decision for the halftime show to be Bad Bunny, yeah, y'all crazy for that one. I think it's Jay-Z. I think he's still in charge of it, but um, we'll see, man. This Patriots team hasn't been able to really score the rock in this playoffs, so that Seahawks defense is, I mean, arguably second to none, but I thought the Houston defense was a bit better. But this Seahawks defense has a case for being the best defense in the NFL. Um, and that's what wins championships. So I just I don't see the Patriots being able to score no points for real.
Man, one take Zay, I totally agree with you, man. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm hoping, not really though, not really, because I don't like no funny stuff in the game. But I'm thinking the way it looked last year, man, the way the Eagles beat up on the Kansas City Chiefs last year, man, it was a horrible watch. The best thing about that Super Bowl last year was the halftime show and the fact that it had so much buzz about the performance, right? But the game itself was horrible. I don't know if the NFL can afford to have another game like that again this year, to where one team just totally dominates the other team, and maybe the other team gets a score or two here late in the game. But I really don't see how the Patriots are going to be able to score any points and stop the run game, which you already know. If you can't stop Walker, you are not going to be able to stop JSN, because everything opens up for him when you can't stop the run. And I think they're going to have to pick their poison. Are you going to stop the run, or are you going to double up on JSN? And I don't think they're going to be able to do either one of them, man. And I think it's going to be a game where, like you said, it's going to be a two-score victory for somebody. Well, for the Seahawks. I just hope that the Patriots can keep it close. Maybe the referees might throw a couple of extra flags to keep this thing interesting, man. Because I really don't see, when you look at it on paper, there's no way that this game can be close. There's no way. Because I don't even see the Patriots scoring 10 points, bro. I don't see them scoring 10 points.
Hey, listen, when I seen them 12-man buses rolling in, I was like, it's here, it's time, man. It's just looking like, like you said, you looking at it on paper. Only thing I could see is if we get some real explosives from Travion in this game. Travion, he wakes up for games like this and he busts his plays open, that's probably not there or that you won't even expect. So they gotta have some explosives in this game, and it's just not like, I don't know, Emma Warry, Demarcus Lawrence, dudes like that, man. Especially Demarcus Lawrence, man. He was in cowboy purgatory forever. Now his first year in Seattle, he's playing for a Super Bowl. Guys like that, I'm telling you, they're gonna make a statement as soon as this game starts.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. And I just hope that it's going to be a good game and the commercials are good. Now, the halftime show, I don't even know who the bunny guy is. So
Man,
I
it's
don't
the
even know
worst.
who he is.
It's the worst ear in life, man. I'm telling you. You do not want to listen to Bad Bunny, bro.
Yeah, I think at that time, that's probably when I'm going to go take my shower for the night and then just come back and watch the second half. Will Shador Sanders be quarterback one going into training camp for the Browns next season?
Man, I think they will portray everything as it's an open competition, but I think Todd Monken already loves Shador, especially in the pre-draft process. That's why they were looking at drafting him over there in Baltimore. So I definitely feel like Shador is really the number one QB, but just for optics, you got to say it's an open race and an open battle, and especially keeping um, kind of those guys engaged in that QB room. Um, but like we definitely understand way more once the draft partakes. If you start seeing them fill up on offensive linemen and weapons, we already know they have an idea about who their quarterback is going to be, and 9 times out of 10, most of us is going to think that's going to be Shador.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, what are the things you think on this off season that he needs to work on so that he can be a much better quarterback. I mean, because I think he played really well in the opportunities that he got. I mean, of course, he played like a rookie quarterback would play, especially with the weapons that he had and the line that he had. But what would you like to see him work on in this offseason to improve his game?
Most of it is more mental things than skill wise. I think Shador really has pretty much everything I would look for in a quarterback. He can be extremely accurate. He's not the fastest guy, but he can elude pressure. Um, and he throws with anticipation when he can, when he's able to, when he has protection. I think he holds the ball still a little too much for me. I would like to see him get, but that's like I said. I think that's more of a mental thing. And also, I want him to continue to work on his pocket presence. Stepping up in that pocket and just delivering the ball. Um, but really, I just think somebody need to just believe in Shador. That's all he need in this corner because I think he got all the tools to be a successful NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I think going into the into training camp, he's going to be um, quarterback one. I think it would be great if they go ahead and just make that the case. Um, but I do also agree with you that you want to keep those other guys engaged too. So you want them to be focused on, what they need to be focused on when their number is called. But I would like for him to be named as quarterback one before training camp even starts. Give him all the first string reps. He should be doing the things, working out with the receivers that he has now, the tight ends, running backs, and things like that, so that he can get their chemistry clicking. Um, so that when he goes into the season, because I think that the organization, player wise, they really like Shador Sanders and they want him to be their quarterback. I don't think that they are concerned about anything else. Before we bring Mossberg in, and Mossberg, you can answer this question too. What's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? Are they going to just go ahead and let him be the backup? Or do you think that they're going to fool around and let them have a competition?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Deshaun got what 2 more years on his contract this year and next year. If I'm not mistaken, it may be 1 year. Uh, man, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you can't get rid of him, you just gonna have to eat it. But I don't see no reason why you would put him back on the field after seeing what we already saw out of Sean Watson. It's washed. You might as well work on trying to figure out who your future is. He's not your future, and we understand that already. So I don't know though. We've seen so many quarterbacks get revived this year. Will it can Todd Monken revive somebody like Deshaun Watson? That's another question we got to ask ourselves too. So um, but if it's me, man, I've seen what I needed to see from Deshaun, man. I think he had a great little stretch run at that beginning of his career. I just don't think he got the juice no more, man. I will push forward with Shador, or if you have another bad season, it's going to be a lot of guys in the next NFL draft that you could take a look at. So, but I'm off the Deshaun Watson train.
Let's bring our man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10 into the show. We're talking about Sador Sanders right now. Will he be quarterback one going into training camp for the Browns? Do you think that they might do some things with him and Deshaun Watson in a quarterback competition? What's your thoughts on that? And what should Shador Sanders work on in the offseason to improve his game?
Before I get into that, man, it's good to see you in here one take, Zay, man.
It's
How you
good,
feeling?
level up, man. I'm
I
good,
haven't
man.
seen the brother in a couple, man. It's good to see you. I know what you've been talking about, and man, it's something with that mental, man. I know, I've been having my little theory with it myself, actually, this last month. So I definitely agree with you. And man, it's just good to see your face, bro. We do
Man,
best, man.
for
Back from
sure.
bangers. But
Hey,
I think,
if you think about getting a therapist, bro, get one. I don't care what
yeah.
nobody say, bro. The last 4 weeks has been wonderful for me, bro.
Oh man, I hear it in your voice, man, and it's good to see you and hear, you talking about just things like that because I'm actually in the works of putting a show together about that. It's just something that I don't know, it keeps coming across my mind and then talking to people. So we definitely chop it up about that more. But with this Shador Sanders, I think, like you said, WTP, it's only right that they know what they got coming in the training camp moving forward. Because I think with the talent that we all believe and know that he have across the board, even in the NFL ranks, it's like you putting another wall in this young kid's way. You don't want to keep building walls when you have something as special of a talent that we know he can be. You know, it's a development stage, and I think he definitely should be QB1. Will he be QB1? This is the Cleveland Browns again. You know, they've had the issues that they've had in the past years. You know, they still have, like you said, Deshaun Watson on the roster. Cleveland may just do something bogus like that, have a QB1 battle, but get that man the spot. He's well earned of it, and I agree with Zay with the Deshaun Watson saga, man. I think it's time for that to be over with. You know, you gotta, like you said, eat that money. You didn't draft Shador for no reason. Get this young man his due. Let him come in to the season as in the training camp as well as all that good stuff. QB1 to where his focus is different. He already has a focus, but he goes in and works even harder. He studies that playbook even more. I think Cleveland have what they need at quarterback. Is just letting this young kid get his development, get those reps, get out here and play. We see what he's done on the college level. In the NFL, it only could get better with you having reps. So I'm with Shador in his progress all the way.
Let's welcome my man post game of the post game 86 podcast to the show. How you feeling this morning post game?
Feeling good, man. How y'all doing, man? Is my sound all right?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great.
Good, man. Good.
I guess we gotta get your take on Shador Sanders. Should he be quarterback one going into training camp? Where does Deshaun Watson fit in this whole scenario? And what should Shador Sanders be working on in the offseason to improve his game?
I do think Shador Sanders needs to be given a chance to thrive and be QB1. He needs to work on everything. I believe he needs to work on everything, especially holding the ball. But part of that is getting him some more weapons. I think they did a good job at the tight end position. They got good tight ends in Cleveland. He needs a number one wide receiver. So they should be looking at a receiver in the draft, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson, man, if there's ever been a quagmire, this is one. I don't know what's going on with the man. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. Up to this point, it's probably the worst contract just about in NFL history. So I mean, Deshaun Watson, I have no clue what they plan on doing with him. So
Yeah. What do y'all? Let's turn our attention to the Falcons, man, and Michael Penix. Should the Falcons go in a different direction from Michael Penix?
Ooh, man. Man, I don't want to say. It's funny that we
I can't
talking.
hear you, FanDuel.
Nah, go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying they botched this whole experiment, man. Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, neither quarterback. All they needed was a quarterback with all this talent they got on this roster, and you didn't even need nothing that was uh, Superman cape worthy. You just needed somebody that can manage a game, like Sam Darnold is doing in Seattle. Somebody's gonna come in there, make plays when he needs to, and not give up the ball. Um, they gotta find a quarterback, man, before they start having to like get rid of some of these pieces that they got before they gotta start paying a lot of these guys, man. Because I feel like they got everything they need to be a Super Bowl contender except for a quarterback. So and you're not gonna find it in this draft. So you probably gonna have to run one more year with both of these guys on your roster, unless you make a trade. But people don't let quarterbacks walk out of the door. So um, it's definitely time to find a solution though in Atlanta.
I agree. It seemed like it's almost in a way like seeing him injured. How Deshaun Watson came and was injured. You know, it's a lot of money involved in this too with him. You know, being that high pick that he was. So man, it's this is a year that if they can't get it right, it's gonna look like a debacle in Atlanta. That's just the one thing I'm looking at. They gotta figure out a way to really see what suits Penix. He just had a great year to close during his rookie campaign, and then come in and have these struggles. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, but hopefully it could get better. I don't know what they got to do for that to happen. Maybe switch some things up on the offensive play caller or go to your targets. It's tough, man, because they definitely got some great players in Atlanta.
Yeah, man, you guys are on point. Uh, listen, you got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Kyle Pitts, who's a free agent, but they should resign. That's enough on offense. Now, if we take it back a couple of years, they signed Kirk Cousins. You think they got their quarterback of the future or their franchise quarterback, but he's fallen off ever since the injury. Um, and then the GM, after signing Kirk Cousins, moves up or not move up, but takes Penix early. Nobody expected Penix to go that early and not to the Atlanta Falcons, but they did it. And it probably cost the GM the job. Now, Penix has a history of being injured. That's the knock on him. He was injured a lot in college, and he's been injured thus far in his NFL career. Now, Penix has showed flashes. He has showed that games where he can get it done, but then there's been games where he doesn't look like a first round quarterback. So, I mean, at this point, they probably have to stay the course with these quarterbacks. Hopefully, the new coaching regimes put these quarterbacks in better positions to be successful. Because the play calling on offense to me in Atlanta was borderline terrible. So hopefully, the new coaching regime puts these quarterbacks in better position. But at this point, I don't know if you can go a different direction in Atlanta. You got to stick with Kirk and Penix, and it'll likely be Kirk in the beginning if Penix isn't cleared to play. But they definitely should give Penix the year and hopefully keep him healthy. But right now, I think that's their only play.
Yeah, I think if this was a better quarterback draft this year, they would probably pull the trigger on it this year. But the fact that it's not one of the better quarterback drafts, like we're going to probably see next year, if the guys who are eligible to come out, who have had really, really good seasons this past season of college football, I agree with all three of you. They're gonna have to work and stay with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins for one more year. Can they get enough out of them? Can the defense take another step and slow down some teams to where you can lean on your defense to win games for you, and then use your weapons that you have offensively that have been named to score enough points to win some games for you. It's going to really be a defensive heavy thing for the Falcons next year in order for them to be one of the better teams in that division. Their hands are just tied, man. They can't do nothing else but go with these two guys. The good thing about it is I believe that this is the last year. This upcoming season is the last year of Kirk Cousins' contract, that 100 million that he signed. So you'll be able to off that. I think he'll land somewhere else, if not just as a backup role in Atlanta. But they're gonna have to stick with him this year. I mean, they really don't have any other choice because the draft is so weak this year with quarterbacks, not with players, but with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's turn our attentions to the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics opened up last night. SEC Sean dropped a video last night, so go check that one out. What are your top three events in the Winter Olympics? And I know for some of us, we don't really tune in to the Winter Olympics all like that, but I'm quite sure there's been a couple of bright spots over the years that made you want to watch.
Well, yeah. I'm big with, of course, bobsledding. Speed skating is one of my biggest events, and of course, the snowboarding. There's quite a few others, but those are my favorite three, man. I love watching them. I know a lot of people don't tune into the Winter Olympics. It's a sport. I literally watch every sport, man, especially at the Olympics. So those are my three.
I ain't gonna lie. The only event I ever tune in is the snowboarding. I think it's the most exciting event in like all of sports almost. You know, growing up, I just remember watching Sean White do some crazy stuff, bro. Like, bro was off the chain. You know, so it got to be snowboarding for me.
Jamaica, man. Man, I apologize, bros. I have no clue. I've never in my life watched any Winter Olympics. Uh, all I know is bobsledding, and that's because of the bobsledding movie with the Jamaicans or whatever. But
Cool
I,
runnings.
yeah, cool brother. There you go. Jamaica, man. That's all. That's about all I know. So,
I mean, I've tuned in and watched some different things on there, man. So I mean, I probably don't know the technical names for some of the events that happen in the Winter Olympics, but I'm willing to watch pretty much all of it, man. I like curling and just watching them do whatever they doing on that ice, try to get that thing to
That's
a certain spot. I don't understand the game whatsoever, but just watching them do what they do, whatever the game is, however the game is played, I like that. I definitely like when they go down the slope and then they see how far they can get on
yeah.
them skis, and they I like that. I like this when they go through the little obstacle. I like all of that stuff,
Oh
man.
yeah.
So especially the speed stuff, the speed skating, the bobsledding, all of that kind of stuff. And I think I probably really got into it when I seen the U.S. win the gold medal in hockey. It made me start paying a little bit more close attention to it. And one of my teachers in high school was like, even though the U.S. isn't as good during the Winter Olympics as they are in the Summer Olympics, it's still some really good sports to watch. And so I try to tune in as much as I can. Uh, so I like it as a whole. So hopefully I'll
Yeah.
get to see it. And in the past we've had some figure skaters that we paid attention to when Debbie Thomas was doing her thing, much like what we did with gymnastics with Dominique Dawes and all of them back in the day. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in. How much I don't know when I'm gonna get an opportunity to, but I'm gonna try to catch either because it's always going to be probably some kind of tape delay anyway. So I'm gonna try to catch as much of it as I can. I don't know
It's
how much y'all
fun.
familiar with the Miracle on Ice, but is the Miracle on Ice the greatest memory of U.S. Winter Olympics history?
Yeah, that predates my whole livelihood. So I can't can't really say anything about the Winter Olympics with the Miracle on Ice. But like I said previously, bruh, my greatest Winter Olympic memory is probably anything Sean White. I'm talking about this dude was incredible, bro. Like for people to do stuff on a snowboard the way he was doing it and the way all those athletes does it on the snowboard. I mean, one wrong move will probably end your life, bro. Like
Uh,
type stuff. So I don't know, man. I gotta go with anything Sean White. I can't give you a specific moment because I feel like I don't really understand the sport that well. But the things I used to see Sean White do, I hope that one day I can go to an event like that.
Man, it's crazy. I think that was one of course, I think that's in history. It's definitely one of mine. With me liking speed skating, I was, watching Dan Jensen back in '94. I mean, she put on a show. If I was telling SEC Sean, speed skating is something special. It's something different. It's like how you talk about NASCAR on a racetrack, speed skating, or you got to think you on a blade, two blades out there, and you speed skating on ice. The way they come around them corners, I'm telling you, Zay, if you want to take you tap into some of that speed skating if you get a chance, bro, it's gonna blow your mind seeing how they touch the ice barely and they coming around them corners at the speed they do. For me, I it was a miracle on ice, but I like Jansen for the fact of me being a speed skate liker. Watching her do what she did, she blazed the trail and had a world record too. So definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to y'all on this one. I mean, I believe was the Winter Olympics when Ali was lighting the torch that one year
Mm.
It it it, it may have been.
because that's about the only memory I have of it.
Tap into the Winter Olympics. I'm telling you, it's you got to watch it to believe it. I know we talk about the bobsled team from Cool Runnings, of course, the X Games and Sean White snowboarding, things like that. But just watch it. It's definitely sweet. Even what you said about the curling, they basically use shuffling through that ice trying to get the base placement on that target. It's not easy. Like you gotta try to get that ice chisel or shave down to where that heavy man. It's crazy, but it's special. I love it myself. I don't know, man. I just might be really a sports head, man. Sports junkie for sure.
Yeah, I think the Miracle on Ice was the first thing that I ever watched that really made me pay attention to the Winter Olympics. Being able to see that hockey team who really had no chance. They didn't have the greatest hockey players in the world on that team. Most of the great hockey players come from other countries, and to for them to be able to beat the Soviet Union that year in that game, man, was really phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to go and watch that game, and I watched it after the fact, I didn't watch it live when it happened. I watched it after the fact, and it still had the same kind of thrill that it would have if I was watching it live. And to me, right now, that's the greatest one because it's the Winter Olympics, and it ain't like I watch a whole lot of it, but I really enjoyed that aspect of it when I got to see them hockey players who had no chance on winning it, being the underdog, and messing around, beating the greatest team probably in the history of Olympic hockey, the Soviet Union team, and beating them that year was phenomenal. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Because my man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10 and SEC Sean, post game 86 came in after we talked about college basketball. Do y'all want to chime in on the questions we had for that one? We talked about Duke and North Carolina today. Is that the greatest rivalry in college basketball right now? And can UNC win that game today?
Man, that's still the best rivalry. We be in our group text. I woke up this morning to text in our group chat. I got, my niece's mom. It's literally chats that go on all day when this game come on. My brothers, you know, this is the rivalry that you want to see. I think North Carolina has a shot. They got Caleb Wilson, a sensational freshman. And I think, what he brings to North Carolina, it kind of reminds me of when back when Jordan came to North Carolina, the young, talented kid that he was, and he gave that North Carolina team life. Caleb Wilson is doing that for North Carolina this year. So greatest rivalry. I think North Carolina has a chance to win, but I'm going with Booze Brothers and the Duke Blue Devils and a big win of this Tobacco Road rivalry. Damn, Duke win.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I dislike Duke and North Carolina, I, I respect them. I respect those basketball programs. Two of the greatest basketball programs in men's college basketball history. It's definitely the greatest rivalry in college basketball up to this date. You think about some of the greats, man. You think about Grant Hill, Bob Hurley, Christian Laettner, man, Carlos Boozer, and now to his son. And I mean, Moss spoke on Caleb Wilson, uh, just a freak athlete, and he's going to be a really good player in the NBA. So uh, this is the greatest rivalry. Can UNC beat Duke? I doubt it. I got Duke winning, but man, it's definitely the greatest rivalry in college basketball.
Anything else y'all want to discuss before we wrap up the show? We right at 46 minutes. We want to try to go at least an hour. Anything else out there in the sports world y'all want to talk about it? Comments, any statements? What's
Oh
going
yeah,
on inside your head when it comes to sports?
your boys got a big game today going against Izzo and them Michigan State Spartans. We can't forget about your Illini. This is a top 10 matchup. If I'm thinking about it when I seen it, I think this is the first time since I remember Darren Williams, Luther Head, when you guys were banging with them back then for the big top 10 matchups. I think we looking at, either team could win this Big Ten conference. We know what Nebraska looked like. We know what Ohio State did with them last week and knocking them off of that undefeated cherry. So I think this is the game to watch today. So Illinois team is dangerous. Can they play physical with Michigan State? Can they be more athletic than Michigan State? And can they rebound with Michigan State? Those are things for me for this Illinois team moving forward throughout the rest of the season, even getting towards that tournament. If they could stack up and stand stout, they could win this game today for sure. Um, I'm gonna go with Illinois. I'm gonna go with Illinois in this one. It's a tough pick, but I like Illinois. I like what they bring to the table, and they definitely have a sensational freshman. And we know what he could do. He could put up buckets for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is a hell of a top 10 matchup, Michigan State and Illini. I'm really looking forward to this game. Illinois can really take off and score the basketball. Michigan State, we know what they do on defense with Izzo. They can score as well. But man, I'm gonna give Michigan State the nod today. I'm gonna go with Michigan State today. I really like this Illinois team. I think this is a team who can make some noise come March Madness time. I'm gonna give Tom Izzo and Michigan State Spartans the edge today. I like it.
And we got the BYU, Houston at BYU. BYU, that those are my guys now. AJ DeBassa, the whole gang, Richie Rich and everybody. For me, it's this Big 12 is tougher than I think everybody realized, man. And I think, BYU having these few losses lately, I think getting back home, getting in front of that home crowd, even after a tough home loss they had against the Kansas team, I think getting back home, or was it Texas Tech? Getting back home, I think BYU will get a win today against a great Houston team. Flemings is the guy I watch for Houston, as well as Sharp. Flemings is another freshman that we're talking about. So I'm going with my BYU squad. I think this is a win we got to get heading into the tournament as we, prepare for our conference tournament as well.
Yeah, I think BYU has to look at this game as a must-win game. I think they've taken a few losses in the last couple of weeks to some good teams in the Big 12. Houston is a good team in the Big 12. You talk about guys like Sharp and Flemings, the athleticism they got in the front court. I don't know, Moss, man. I think Houston wins today, man. I just think they're a better team when it comes to BYU. Uh, Now Devonta could they're on the wing. They are kind of smallish. Houston is, but they're athletic and quick. But they are kind of small. So can he exploit those matchups using his size? But I don't think BYU has enough to beat Houston today. I'm going Houston.
Could be a 40 ball for AJ. I'm gonna put it out there. He could drop 40 on him because you know when that height difference comes. I don't when he play with that height, they put him at the ball and he get that ball and he put him on a post, even from the perimeter. He find people, man, and I don't know. I think he due for another big game, man. I think he's not gonna let the television get to him. None of that this weekend. I think this Saturday's game, he going for a 40 ball. I see you smiling, Zay. You know I'm so AJ, man. He might get a 40 ball today. That's my guy, man.
Oh, I'm messing with my daughter, bro.
How's
My
that, how's
bad.
that going, man? I love it, man. I love
She
it.
right here. Hey, I'm about to introduce you to the snow today. Yesterday I
Oh,
brought some in the house in a little tub, a little bucket, and she loved it. But I was nervous to take her in it, but I think she want to go in it today.
she ready.
So
That
we
action.
going yeah, we gonna go to Wanna Ridge or something today and see what's up. You feel me?
You gotta send us a video of that, bro. You gotta send us a video of that.
Hey, I went already. I just didn't take her.
Man, that's gonna definitely be fun, man. Um,
Anything else going on in this weekend of sports that y'all want to discuss? I mean, any news out there that's newsworthy to be talking about right here on the show before we get ready to wrap up?
That Super Bowl matchup is pretty intriguing to me, man, because I mean, I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season picked the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks to be fighting for the championship. I know I didn't at least. I didn't even think these two teams would be in play to win their divisions. Um, but they both did. So you got the Patriots who have a good defense. Seattle has a really good defense. And I think some of the keys of the game are going to be them containing JSN and the quarterback Gonzalez for the New England Patriots. I feel like he's one of the better corners in the NFL. And if I'm Seattle, I'm having Gonzalez all over JSN the whole entire game. I don't care where he lines up at. That's where Gonzalez goes because outside of Gonzalez, I feel like JSN is going to terrorize that DB room in New England. So if I'm the defensive coaching staff for the Patriots, I'm having Gonzalez all over JSN. And that's not to say JSN still can't get his, but if somebody other than Gonzalez is on JSN, he gonna blow this game, out the water. But they have to contain that rushing attack for the Seattle Seahawks with Kenneth Walker and them doing those zone runs. And that'd be the key to the game for New England. It's slowing down that run game and making sure
She might get on her
J-
bike. Stop it.
and making sure J
Go ahead, finish up, post.
no, and making sure JSN doesn't, bust a hole in this game and take over. So I think they gotta make sure J or Gonzalez is all over JSN. And uh, there's been talk about Drake may being injured or playing through injury. and I hope that's not the case. I hope he's healthy for the biggest game of his career. It, one thing, man, there's games like this kind of worry me when so many people are picking one team because what happens sometimes is everybody will be on the team like all I hear is Seattle is gonna win, Seattle is gonna win, and then the Patriots win. You know what I'm saying? So I got a strange feeling it's gonna be that way. Like so many people are picking Seattle, and then New England actually wins the game, which they're very capable of. I think too many people are sleeping on this New England team and this rushing attack with Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. So and then Drake May, of course, can make plays with his legs. So and we can't sleep on Stephon Diggs in that receiving core. And like I said, the Patriots play solid defense, man. So we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be a real fun matchup.
It's gonna be hot, sunny, and all that good stuff where they're gonna be at in the Super Bowl. So, I was looking for your boy Mac to come out in something like he normally do. When it was cold, he came out with nothing on his feet, no shirt for the Buffalo game. So for me, I'm looking to see what he come out with, for this Super Bowl take. I don't know, man. The Seattle team and Darnold, I think for them, I know a lot of people got to win them, but I think for me with Seattle, it's more so people didn't think they would really be. Same thing with Sam Darnold. Nobody gave Sam Darnold a chance all season. I think Sam Darnold takes his opportunity and becomes Super Bowl champ. That's my pick, taking Seattle. And I think it's not because everybody else picking Seattle, it's because of those things. Sam Darnold and his journey. And this is another reason why you continue to go to practice. You continue to put those days to work because guess what? Sam Darnold is proof of what can happen when you continually put that work in. You could become an NFL possible Super Bowl QB to win. But I have him winning. Hopefully, you get you your Super Bowl ring, Sam Darnold, from your NFL journey that you've been on in your young career.
Yeah, and real quick, I gotta take my hat off to Sam Darnold, man. Who would have thought? A couple years ago he was seeing ghosts, and now he's a Super Bowl quarterback. So shout out to him for not giving up. You know, working on his craft, getting in the right position, right situation, and thriving. So hats off to that young man.
We got our man SEC Sean that just joined us. He did a video last night on the Winter Olympics. How you feeling this morning, SEC Sean?
Pretty good. Just coming a little late. Had to go to get some groceries. So sitting here watching the U.S. Women's hockey team right now.
Okay, what channel are the Olympics going to be viewed on during this Winter Olympic time?
USA, NBC, stuff like that. But like I
Is it?
mentioned it last night that I use YouTube TV, and you can go in and click the Olympics banner and set it like I set mine to record every event that comes on. So then I can go back and watch what I miss.
Is it gonna be some on Peacock?
I'm sure there probably is, to
You
be
probably
honest
right.
with you.
Yeah, I just actually watch mine straight off YouTube. I don't even. I just tap the little icon. I don't know if I'm giving away a hint, but
And
Does
because I've got it recording, I mean, because it's just weird times, I just set it to record it all, and then I just go back and watch what I want. Like I was watching some downhill skiing this morning, and now hockey, but it doesn't show Peacock Zay, but I'm almost positive Peacock's gonna have some stuff.
So SEC Sean, downhill skiing is not when they jump and land. It's when they coming down the hill, going through the little flags or whatever.
Yeah, they have gates on each side of the course, and you have to stay in between the two gates. There's that one, and then there's like what they call a slalom, which is a bunch of poles, and you have to you weave in and out of all the poles.
mhm, that's pretty
Okay,
good.
that's called slalom. Okay.
Yeah, there's the one jumping is actually ski jumping, where they go down the big hill and then jump and put
Mhm.
their like skis in a V, and yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean, just one of those things. Um, I enjoyed it. Some like we mentioned last night on the podcast. It's just some weird sports that you don't ever really follow or watch. So
Can you tell us what is the object of the game curling?
uh no.
I thought it was for me more so. I thought it was, of course, that bullseye. It reminded me of darts. You
It's
know,
it's kind of like darts. I mean, I can be really southern and tell you the first time I heard about curling, I was trying to figure out why we were doing hairstyling at the Winter Olympics. But um, the it is. I mean, it's kind of like a darts type shuffleboard game where you try to get it more towards the center of the bullseye, but you knock the other one out, and you got people with brooms sweeping stuff, and it's just I don't know. To me, I just find it interesting as to I don't know why. I just start watching it and I can't change the damn channel. But I do not understand it. But there is a curling center here in Columbus.
Oh, okay. Anything else y'all want to discuss before we wrap up? We just right at 1 hour and 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, and let me
Anything
let me
else you
jump
want
into
to
one of your
discuss?
questions real quick that I didn't get to answer because I missed it. The is the Miracle on Ice the greatest? Yeah, for sure. As far as the Winter Olympics, there's nothing close that competes to the Miracle on Ice.
Did you watch that live SEC, Sean, or did you see it on replay?
I mean, I watched it live, but I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
But I've gone back and watched it since then, and I've watched the movie and I've watched the documentary on it. You're talking a bunch of college kids playing against these professional Russian players. And you got to remember, the Russians beat the U.S. bad, like in a prelim, bro, like just a lead up, like a friendly, like they do in soccer. They beat the snot out of that U.S. team, and then that U.S. team just flipped the script and pulled probably, to be honest, the biggest upset in all of sports that I can think of.
yeah,
That I can't think of anything more than that.
I agree.
What
Definitely.
about Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson?
That's in the top five. That's definitely in the top five of all time. But all right, U.S. just scored. But when you consider all the circumstances around that, it was in New York. Um, they beat this juggernaut of a team with some college dudes. It's kind of like when the uh, basketball, when it used to be just the college players before they let the pros play. But these college kids took on this phenomenal, unbeatable, everybody called it, Russian team and beat them. And the craziest part of it is that wasn't even for the gold medal. That was just the semifinal game.
Yeah. You forget about the gold medal game because of how big the win was. Like that was like the gold medal game for
Yeah, well, that's everybody. Once the U.S. beat the Russians, everybody assumed the U.S. would win gold.
yeah.
I mean, the Russians hadn't lost a game in years. So, yeah, it was, to me, it's the biggest upset in all of sports history. I don't, I mean, you could almost throw the Giants over the Patriots in the Super Bowl that year is up there in the top five, too.
Yeah. Is the Duke North Carolina game the biggest rivalry in college basketball in your opinion, SEC, Sean?
Oh, and I don't see anything that's closer in college basketball. Um, Duke, North Carolina, and college basketball is what it is. I mean, there's numerous huge rivalries in college football, of course, but um, to me, Duke, North Carolina, and basketball is by far the biggest. It parallels with the Yankees, Red Sox.
Ooh. Who you got in that game today, SEC, Sean? Duke or North Carolina?
Duke.
How about you, Juan? Who you got?
I got Duke. I got Duke winning the game, but I really do believe North Carolina, if they can take advantage of, if Duke goes on a little slow, they have a brain fart, and North Carolina can take advantage of it, and they can be right there at the end of the game. The crowd can get in it, and they could possibly knock down a couple of shots in the last minute and a half and probably win it. But I'm going with Duke. I think they just got too much talent.
I'm
Houston,
going. I'm going Duke. I'm going Illinois to beat Michigan State. And my upset pick of the day, my upset special is A&M over Florida.
ooh. And I remember when you came up to the job and we talked about the big man, Aggie, AG Aggie. That boy is playing big. He have a monstrous game. And Dominguez shoot that three ball the way he do, man. I've been watching him, and I know we talked about it. That he could shoot the leather off that thing, as one take Zay be saying. He could
I'm a,
really shoot the leather off that thing. Hand down, man down is real
I'll
with Dominguez.
I'll tell you this: they lost to Bama on Wednesday by 3, and Ruben Dominguez didn't even make a basket.
Wow,
So you normally gonna get 6 to 9 points out of him. You get 6 to 9 points, you win that game.
Florida. Florida might be in some trouble today,
Florida's got
especially
some huge dudes. That's what scares me. Florida's front line scares the hell out of me.
yeah, my boy, what is it? How
Yeah, Tyler Howe.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
he's something special. He's been having a great season.
Oh
Just
yeah.
the way they playing all together, and even what is it? Flang, he's starting to play a little. He's starting to come around. He had that record set steals performance last week. So Florida, this late season push, man, is what they do. If you notice, even after they win championships, when they back to back, they wasn't looking so good to start the year, and they pushed at the end of the season and through that tournament, and they won back to back. So this Florida team is still a good team, man, for sure.
That's my upset pick of the week of the day.
One take, Zay. Let me ask you this because anybody can answer, but I want to get one take Zay's opinion on this. With all of these freshmen and all of these good basketball players in college basketball, will the NBA be forced to expand again to maybe 34 or 36 teams? Because
Mhm.
it's starting to seem like there's a lot of basketball players out there who are worthy to be in the NBA. Do you see them expanding anytime soon?
Yeah, I've been think Silver been looking into expanding the NBA for a while now. But I don't think it got nothing to do with the level, the amount of talent that's in college basketball today. Because really, I think we're in a transcendent year. You're not gonna have years where you got 15 to 20 freshmen that all look like they're going to get drafted in the first round next year. I mean, it's that many. We didn't even spoke about Elijah Arenas and him coming off one of his best games. He's not even projected to be a first round draft pick right now because he just now hitting the floor, you know? So it's dudes out there everywhere you look, and that's why they're calling this the best freshman class in in forever, you know. So I don't think it got nothing to do with the amount of talent though, because every year is not going to be nothing close to this.
Well, I'm glad
Well,
you.
let me ask you a question on that too, though, to follow up on that. Anybody, where would they expand? Obviously, we've all mentioned Seattle before. Going back to Seattle, where else could you put another team that you think, I mean, could handle the team?
Yeah,
Like financially.
yeah, it could always be Vegas, you know. Where else?
That's two. Seattle, Vegas. I mean, would they have to? Can they go with two, or do they have to go with four? Do you think they'll just go two or four?
I mean, I think you almost have to at least do it in even number sets.
Yeah,
I think you had to go two because you gotta pull people from everybody's roster to fill those
Right.
teams.
yeah. I say
Yeah, I
two.
think it would be two. Uh, I man, it. I mean, you can look at Vegas. You can look at reviving the Seattle Supersonics. maybe even the Carolinas. I don't I don't think Charlotte is a team anymore, right? Am I right on that? Charlotte is New Orleans now, correct? Yeah.
No,
So
Charlotte has a team still.
Charlotte still got a team.
yeah, okay. I'm tripping. Yeah. Maybe another Carolina team. Vegas is a good spot, and reviving the Seattle SuperSonics would be ideal. Man, look, that freshman class is sick. Um, one of the mocks I saw the other day had the first 12 picks being freshmen in the draft. First 12. So I mean, Dick Vitale call them the diaper dandies. We looking at a really elite class. But as far as them saying like this is the best class or does it compare to this class, I gotta see them in the NBA first. But potentially this class is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought that up because I'm curious. Do you like, as far as the expansion? Do you think like a Columbus or Cincinnati could handle one?
Since he could, Columbus, we cannot handle that at all. Football has to be God here,
Yeah,
and it's going to overpower Ohio State. It will fight with Ohio State too much, and they bring in too much money into the city.
right, of course. Then I thought about Nashville too.
Yeah, Nashville, Vancouver.
Yeah,
Vancouver used
yeah,
to
you
be the
could go back to
Grizzlies.
Vancouver again.
What y'all think about Florida? Even though they got Miami, we know think something about Florida.
Well, I mean, Florida's got Miami, Orlando. You've already got really two in that state. Texas has three.
I was just thinking because I was thinking of that with Texas having the three. You know, you got over in LA with what they built and with the Lakers, Golden State, and the Clippers, like possibly trying to catch up in some of those, areas. But I definitely think Carolinas would be nice, Seattle, Vegas, of course. I think that would be the great. I think that would be the perfect spot.
There's not a team in Missouri, is it?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
St.
well
Louis, Kansas City. I
Nope.
mean,
Only thing they
yeah,
got, yeah, Chiefs,
Sound
Missouri.
like they got some options. Sound like they
Yeah,
got some options for sure.
yeah.
definitely.
Let's put a team in El Paso and call them the Vaqueros.
That'd definitely be a good one. Um, I got coming up next week and next coming weeks. I've been reaching out to few coaches. I'm working on one of the conversations. Of course, I've been trying to get since last year. One of my former teammates now coaching. Just doing this thing. Me and him pretty much talk throughout the season, each and every year since he's been coaching. And I can't wait to bring that show to the forefront and just open up about just our times that we had, even as players, and just the support that you give each other, as a friendship. It's a difference when it's a teammate, it's a brother, and I've had the chance to have my own brother be a coach on a high school level, and have one of my close friends like a brother, one of my guards that I played with coach now. So, just having those guys to contact and talk to as well is always a great thing. And like FanDuel Zay said, man, it never slips my mind about us in the mental aspect, man. I think we need to definitely, put a focus out there for somebody that may be going through something. Like we sit in the chat and we text each other. Make sure you check on them. Say what's up. It's only a phone call away. I think those things makes it gives somebody life. It could give someone life that they could have been dealing with something mentally. So I think we definitely need to take time to do that a little more. I love how we do communicate with each other. Outside of that, just looking forward to what City League TV will be bringing to the forefront the next couple of days and next week, as well as SEC Sean. We appreciate what you do as well.
Hey man,
South and Dayton Meadowdale at 3 p.m. And Afrocentric is at Gahanna Lincoln at 6 p.m. I'll probably be trying to go to both, but I'm for sure going to go to the Afrocentric game. I need to call him and see if he going.
Just real quick, fellas. A lot of times on this podcast, I've asked, what is the difference between athletes now and athletes, back in the day, where it seems like athletes now have all the advantages when it comes to medical technology, but it seems like they are often injured more.
Mm.
And Kevin Garnett made a great point because LeBron said it was harder to play 82 games now. What Kevin Garnett was saying is that NBA teams aren't practicing like they did back in the day. They aren't training like they did back in the day and building that callus to make it through an 82 game season. And it made so much sense to me because, NBA teams now they'll practice for 30 minutes and keep it moving. Back in the day, I mean, if you play sports, you remember having two a days. You remember training in the off season, lifting weights, running hills, running in the sand, things like that. So that was profound to me because I couldn't for the life of me figure out how they have all these advantages in medical and technology and seem to be hurt more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole playing 82 games is different than it was. To me, I disagree because I can remember back in the Jordan era, there was numerous times they played back to back, sometimes back to back to back games. And now you very rarely get back to back games in the NBA slate. It's normally play a game, day off, play a game, day off, play a game, sometimes 2 or 3 days off. So I don't understand why they're more hurt nowadays with all the training advantages and the nutritional differences. I mean, those guys back in the 80s and 90s, they wasn't doing all these different stuff they're doing now. These guys were sitting on planes, smoking cigars, playing poker till 4 in the morning before they landed. These guys now are getting in these big private jets and laid back and sprawled out sleeping, you know. So I don't know how athletes nowadays are more injured. That's a really good question, something to think about too, post game.
We
Um,
we know how they're getting injured. A lot of these kids that's in the NBA now were raised in the silver spoon era. You know, the ones that was playing back in the day, they had to do this to make it out. It's just that simple.
It's a
well,
valid
Yeah,
point.
that was Kevin Garnett's point. Like they not like the training is different. Like they back in the day, like I said, they lift weights, they ran hills, they did two a days. They actually ran full court rec to get better.
they better. Yeah.
Now it's like get a trainer, work on a couple of things, and then play. They not building up that callus to make it through a season and be healthy. So I just found that really interesting, the insight that Kevin Garnett gave the world. If y'all haven't saw it, y'all need to check that out. It was really good insight.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely watch a lot of Kevin Garnett stuff. He definitely be having some great points. And I agree, man, that the dog, you don't see that dog in a lot of them, from putting that work in like we used to see. I think that's why you see, a new shooter that you have no clue is every year because instead of having those shooters like Blair Rice, Dell Curry, those guys that worked on a shot year in, year out, Dale Ellis. I remember when those three used to have battles because it came throughout the season of who was going to have a 3-point crown because they put the work in. So I think if they put that work in, I think you'll see less injuries. and they have everything they need to prevent from being injured. You give the great stats back in the day, I don't think the stats would be comparable today. You put some of these guys in some of these booths to keep their body good, it, it would be crazy, man. That's why I just never understand how you can compare different generations. But this is something to talk about because the work they don't put in, you see it with them being hurt.
Yeah, and I know we mentioned in basketball, but it ain't just that. Was you talking about the silver spoon? That's become one of the problems, not the problem, but one of the talking points of my NASCAR stuff. Back in the day, there was all kinds of rivalries on the track. Guys didn't like each other, but they all had to dig and fight and scratch and claw to get to where they were. Now you got guys. He drives the number 24 car. He got his starting in racing on a computer at home, and his mommy and dad bought it all the way. And now he's one of the best. Now he's really good. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't have to work his way up from like 10, 9, 8, all these young kids out there racing in go karts and working their way up. He got on a computer, started doing good on iRacing, and his mommy and daddy bought him a legend car, and he went out and started doing well there. Again, the kid's got talent, but it's that silver spoon mentality.
You know? And I think if you kind of mix it, like for example, I've been working on a lot of things when it comes to, and it's like it take for someone like Unc, how he put us all together, and we bring these great shows to the world. You know, I have a coworker who showed me something on my phone where I be working with what I do, and it made a difference in things. So if you have that, I think you will start to develop more of that. But the world we live in today is crazy because you got so much back and forth, hand to hand, where people not trusting to where should I do this? Is that going to really help me? And it worked for the greats back then. Why won't it work for you? So yeah, I definitely think we need to step into it, get a little bit of that, and I think you'll see less injuries. They took up on KG's advice. We'll put that work in, young fella. It'll definitely pay off for you for sure.
Coming up, I think it's a key for basketball players to play a few years of football. I think it adds a level of toughness. You could tell certain guys who play football and certain guys who didn't. I think it just adds something different to you.
A multi sport is always good for athletes. It works different muscles in the body. I mean, coaches will tell you they'd love a kid who's a multi-sport athlete who played multiple sports in high school when they come in. Even if they're coming to play football in college, they want that kid that played football, basketball, baseball, ran track. They want that kid that did it all because it's just different muscle. He's worked on different muscle cores of his body throughout his athletic career.
Yeah, it sounds like what I hear one take Zay is saying is those guys who play basketball that play football, they endure a certain level of aggression in football that you got to have in order to play that sport.
Say that.
And when you can take that to the basketball court, you don't really shy away from competition because you already know, hell, if I don't bust this guy's ass in the mouth across from me in football, he gonna bust me in my shit. So I gotta bust him in his shit first. And I think that does add a certain level of it helps you out a little bit more. I think in basketball,
Yeah,
if you played a little bit of football, so I like that point that you made. But I also agree with you too, SEC Sean. Coaches love players who play multiple sports. But the one thing that they really love is if that person's main sport is the sport that they're playing with that coach. They like for them to play another sport where they're not the star and they got to learn how to be a teammate as opposed to the guy that everybody else looks to make things happen. To see both sides of the coin. Anything else y'all want to add before we wrap up? I know for sure we want to say some prayers for our man KT, who was normally in the chat with us. He lost his mom last week. So definitely say some prayers for our buddy KT, man, who was a huge Miami Hurricane fan and a huge Indianapolis Colts fan, who was normally in the chat with us. He lost his mom last week, so definitely say some prayers for him
Send them
and
prayers,
his
man.
family.
Definitely, KT, man. Coming from here live, man. Sending prayers to you. I know how much you mean to us, man, in this chat. I just remember when we hung out watching that first week of college football. You got it from your boy Mossberg, man. Sending mad love, mad prayers for me and my family. You already know, man. The guys here, man. We gonna be here for you, and just can't wait to see you and hug you, bro. You know that's just coming straight from Moss B, man.
I don't know if any of y'all read that article I sent. I'll send it out to you Tuesday. I forgot to send it to you. That article I sent last night about that NASCAR with the luge team.
No, I was about to read it today because I was at work. I was about to tap into it today because I went to sleep for a couple.
There, all the sledding stuff is starting to ask NASCAR for help. Like they've taken all these guys and put them in their laser scanners and helped with wind tunnels, and they asked the, you'll read it in the article, Moss, where he says they asked the guys on the luge team, why do y'all pick this type sled? And they're like, we just think it looks cool. And the guy from NASCAR is like, yeah, I think we can make something faster.
Wow.
Pretty neat to see the different, two totally different sports work together like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna definitely read that because I'd seen it come through. I just didn't get a chance to read it yet. I'm gonna definitely look into that. I hope NASCAR actually come out with a new invented game on this game system similar to what we see on TV, man,
it
with the
is.
pit stop and everything. I gotta get into it. I don't know why
The NASCAR 26s or 25 is really good.
I got to chop in. I haven't played a NASCAR since you gonna laugh, SEC Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, no, this one they put out, man, it's legit. It makes you start out in the little Arca Menards cars and work your way all the way up through the trucks and everything before you get to the cup. I just now made it to the cup a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Um,
I gotta check it out.
it's pretty intense, but it's one of the better. It's the best racing game they've put out in years. But yeah, I'll be definitely y'all try to jump on Monday night. We're gonna have a huge show Monday night with a breakdown of all of Daytona. So that's gonna be a pretty in-depth show right there.
Cool.
Cool, cool. All right, y'all. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day, man. Enjoy the Winter Olympics. Enjoy this basketball action that's going to be taking place. Enjoy that Super Bowl. Hopefully, we get to see some really, really good football being played since that is going to be the last game that we're going to see until football starts back up in spring for college football. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day.
Can,
Stay warm, stay safe,
can
and
I
we'll
uh,
see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m.
can I
I
ask
mean,
you one
9
question
a.m.
real quick? Can I ask you
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, two questions. Who y'all play today?
We got Sparty.
Texas,
Yeah.
Oh,
we got a good matchup against Arkansas, maybe. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know who they
Okay.
play.
Good. Can somebody ask me why do we need an 8 hour pregame show for the Super Bowl?
trying to
You
get
know, they gotta bring the celebrities on stage. They gonna be
They
having
didn't call me.
uh they gonna have performers, you know what I'm saying? You know,
They
it's gonna be
didn't.
a little it's a festivity, you
But
feel me?
they didn't call WTP Sports News to come join their show. We got 8 hours to fill. I'm sure we can fill some 8 hours.
Yeah, they should
No,
have.
for
That's
sure.
facts. Well, maybe we were supposed to send something in though, you know.
Maybe we need to keep an eye on that next year. We send a videotape or something in. I don't know.
For sure, for
All
sure.
right, man. Y'all be good.
All right, man. As we do, man. Was in the building. And we out, man. Like, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all the channels y'all see at the bottom. Make sure y'all tap in. We on City League TV as well, live. SEC Sean's coming with all the great talks. WTP that put us all together. We had one take in the building today with post game. I'm Mossberg of Level Up Sports. And make sure you get with me, DM. I'm on Facebook as well and Instagram at Level Up Sports too. If you got an athlete out there, if you want some edits, get it out so people to see it. definitely tap in with me. I've been working on something lately, working on a lot of those actually, but I've been just texting and talking to different parents, different athletes. So if it's you, send me some of that and we can get that cut up and edit and we can get that out there for you. I love doing it. It's just part of my way of giving back. I love what I do, man. So definitely make sure you do that. But we always do, we is in the building and we out the building.
All right,
Peace.
y'all. Peace.